What's up? It's iCkEdMeL. Welcome back. I guess I should like say that to myself. Like, welcome back, iCkEdMeL. Tell everybody welcome back. Let me do a quick little audio check. I've been gone. I posted a video earlier today. If you haven't seen, I got a strike on the channel. Let me just make sure we're audio and everything's kind of good here. Put myself up. Appreciate you guys coming through. Here we go. Watching. Let's see. All right. See how this works out. The chat. What's up, man? I feel like it's been forever. 7 days. There's a lot of weird, crazy stories going on right now, but I figure like I should come back on Codi just to kind of go through some of the updates that I missed. You guys might be fully caught up. I've heard some of the things. We're gonna watch the last presser together. I'm gonna try to skim through the updates that have happened since. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting like, I'd appreciate that. Helps out the stream a lot. And make sure, okay, we're on Facebook as well. What's up, Facebook? I'm doing a test too. We're streaming on Facebook because I said I wanted to start doing that if possible. Thank you, Margaret, so much for the stars. Appreciate that. I wanted to start streaming on Facebook as well. If it works out, great. If not, we'll still focus on YouTube, and then I'll just put clips on Facebook. But we'll see how it goes. Teddy bear. And it's been a roller coaster, but everything's turned out good. I don't want to talk like too much about it because I'm thinking about the rebroadcast, and so I want the people that join after that they can just listen to the story. Maybe towards the end of the stream we'll talk more about some of the things with YouTube and what happened. What's up, Michelle, Joni? Everything's looking good. Alexa, thank you for coming through. Timothy, Weenie, Luna, Peggy, Teresa, and maybe I'll do calls. Maybe I'll do calls at the end. Maybe anybody that has any thoughts on the Cody situation or just any experiences personally. Cody's still not found, still missing. Incredible. Not only that, and just bear with me, guys, because I don't have the green screen yet, like I've mentioned, so I might have to make adjustments so you guys can see things. But the judges on the case have recused themselves, 3 of them. I don't think that it was anything nefarious. We're going to take a look at that. It's interesting, though. Also, supposedly, Cory, the father, had asked, they always get me on that, for legal counsel or something after the polygraph test, and they said that it was mishandled. So that's like pretty interesting. And if you don't know, Cody is the child of 4-year-old from Virginia Hampton. For anybody that's new, just quick and briefly, the father, January 31st around 9 a.m., calls police, and he says that he last saw Cody at 2 a.m. and that Cody was just gone. And so even from when we first started covering the story, people were just constantly asking me, like, or, with reason, when was the last time Cody was seen? No idea, because that date keeps changing. Now they're saying 3 months. All right, which doesn't surprise me. And at first, whoa. I just had a little thought too. That's kind of interesting. If you think about 3 months, and I'm not pointing fingers, I'm not saying anything, but the sister had said that she had saw Cody, what was it, like a week ago or something, before he went missing, supposedly went missing. I thought she said she physically saw Cody and that somebody had spoken to Cody, her ex-husband or something had spoken to him the Sunday before he went missing, or Saturday. So that's a little strange, right? What's up? So let me get you through some of these little updates before we watch the presser. 3 months, right? Crazy. So this is as far as the mishandling, which we're going to listen to this in a second for anybody that hasn't listened to this. And it says, Chief Mark Talbot says, after hours of police questioning Cory Bigsby and following a heated discussion about a polygraph test, Bigsby asked for legal counsel. Talbot says that request was mishandled. He says Bigsby's request was not honored. So that's a pretty big deal. And I thought I read somewhere, I don't have it pulled up, I thought somebody was fired or they got suspended or something. Some detectives. Let's see, detectives. I'm gonna see if I can find that later. I thought I read somewhere, I don't know if it was true or not, that they were like let go. They're asking the community for tips for anyone, for any info going all the way back to November. Okay. No, okay. One of the things I noticed too, as we keep going, I noticed when I multi-stream to both platforms, I noticed there's less viewers on YouTube. I wonder if like they purposely like are being competitive, like they don't want you, they want exclusivity, not branching out. I don't know if that's a thing or not. So here's the 3-month thing, okay? Seeing Cody in the past 3 months. Here's a new flyer just put out by the Hampton Police Department. This was Dan Kennedy posted this yesterday. They're now asking if anyone has seen Cody in the past 3 months and to come forward if so. Previously, they had asked for information dating back to Christmas time. They're also soliciting any surveillance from nearby the Bigsby home. They work to find out what happened to the 4-year-old Hampton, Virginia boy. Also new today, we just mentioned the circuit judges recused themselves. Oh, let me check this out. Legacy with the information. Thank you. Legacy says the lead detective. Okay, he's on leave with pay. Thank you so much for that. And you guys check out her page. I'm gonna show her page in a minute. I put the link in the description. She has really good information. She's following this case like bit by bit. Super easy to follow. So I recommend you go check out her Twitter page. Follow. So all 3 Hampton Circuit Court judges have recused themselves from the Cory Bigsby case. The Supreme Court of Virginia will now likely assign an alternate sitting judge to the case. And so Cody's father, Cory, is supposed to have a second bond hearing next Friday on the 25th on the unrelated child neglect charges. A judge previously denied him bond, but Bigsby's attorney appealed that ruling. It's not clear what this recusal means for the bond hearing next week. So yeah, if there's no judge by that time, who's going to sit in for the bond hearing, right? They have to find a judge. And this is a document here, which I should have saved. Let me do this real quick. Let me just save it and pull it up on the big screen for you guys. So this is the judges, and Legacy shared this. I, Michael Gayton, Chief Judge, do consider it improper for the judges of the 8th Judicial Circuit to hear any aspects of the caption proceeding and do disqualify each of us from hearing this matter, which is now pending in court. Accordingly, I do certify these facts of record in order that the Supreme Court of Virginia may designate a judge to sit for us in our place instead as such time as may be designated to the judge in the caption proceeding. I should have read that, butchered it.
If you've seen Codi Bigsby in the last 3 months, as they again push back the possible timeline surrounding the 4-year-old's disappearance.
And 10 on your sides, Michelle.
And I want to show you this too, because this is regarding the 3 months, but it's also regarding the attorney where he talks about the recusal. What's up, everybody? Welcome, and appreciate you guys joining this afternoon.
Wolf did file this story before going to breaking news.
Hampton investigators working to build a comprehensive picture as they gather more information about when and where Codi Bigsby was last seen, all in an effort to piece together his whereabouts. Police releasing this new flyer on social media. A spokesperson for the Hampton, flyer on social media.
So police are asking, has anybody seen Codi in the last 3 months?
Person for the Hampton Police Division tells 10 on your side the release also serves as a new request for video surveillance of the boy. The flyer comes as the second update in the missing boy's case Thursday, after a request made by Chief Judge Michael Gayton was approved to recuse all Hampton judges in Cory Bigsby's felony child abuse case. Gayton requested that the Virginia Supreme Court appoint another judge.
Judges have a duty to ensure that when they oversee a matter, that they can do so fairly and impartially. And if there is any concern about that, it is a judge's duty to step back and to allow a judge that does not have any such potential disqualifying interactions with a case to allow them to step in and be that neutral party that needs to be present for our justice system to work.
10 on your side's investigative team spoke with Jeffrey Ambrose, Bigsby's attorney on the matter, and how it could affect proceedings moving forward.
It very well may mean that we cannot proceed with the bond hearing on the 20th.
Yeah, so even before Christmas, they're saying, I guess that would be November is what they're saying, right? Because January 31st was reportedly when the father called January 31st. He said he went missing that date, but we don't believe that's accurate. And so going back 3 months, January, December, November. Mm-hmm.
Scheduling this with a new judge and the court and the Commonwealth Attorney's office and my office is an ongoing process now. But it's entirely possible that the bond hearing on the 25th may not be able to occur if we don't have a judge to hear it.
Our investigative team.
Maybe they'll get the appeal. That's a pretty big deal. Like he requested. Well, I want to hear first before I say too much because I haven't listened to the presser. That's a pretty big deal if he was denied legal counsel. Said counsel.
Codi Bigsby presses on. There are new developments in the child neglect case against his father, Cory. Today we learned all 3 Hampton Circuit Court judges recused themselves. Cory is the one who reported Codi missing 18 days ago. The neglect charges are unrelated to the disappearance.
Tonight,
that's right, Kay. I was just mentioning that if they're looking back 3 months, it doesn't seem to match what the aunt or sister was saying. And maybe they're looking for somebody outside of the family that they can verify has actually seen Codi. I really wonder what made them look that far back and who was really the last person to see Codi.
he remains behind bars being held without bond. Sarah Hammond is live outside the Hampton courthouse. She spoke to a legal expert who explains why the judges could have stepped aside.
At this point, we don't know exactly why, but the legal analyst I spoke to earlier today says this situation is not as uncommon as you may think. Just 1 week before Cory Bigsby is scheduled for a second bond hearing, all three Hampton Circuit Court judges have stepped away from the case. Bigsby's attorney Jeffrey Ambrose says now the Virginia Supreme Court must appoint a judge.
There is some issue that Judge Gayton believes would keep the sitting judges of the Hampton Circuit Court from being able to adjudicate this fairly.
13 News Now asked Chief Judge Michael Gayton why he made the decision, and we were given no explanation other than, quote, I do consider it improper for the judges of the 8th Judicial Circuit to hear any aspects of the captioned proceeding.
It's a precaution, and it's out of concern both for the defendant and the public.
Legal analyst Ed Booth says having an entire bench recused from a case is not as unusual as you may think. He's not sure of the circumstances surrounding this particular instance, but says it's usually about avoiding an appearance of impropriety.
And it's not actual impropriety necessarily. It's about the judges following their judicial canon of ethics to make sure that everyone feels like whatever happens in this case is completely above board and appropriate.
He says most likely there was some conflict of interest.
There's generally speaking some sort of concern that affects the court as a whole.
He says courts have conflict dockets for situations like this and can bring in judges from other jurisdictions.
I have every confidence that they will take care of getting another judge in, who doesn't have whatever conflict might exist, so that the proceedings will go forward as usual.
They're saying it's not that crazy. They didn't give a specific reason why, but maybe a conflict of interest or something came up, and to maybe to protect the integrity, which, that whole denying legal counsel is not a good thing. Tani, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate it. And thank you guys for stopping back. I got a strike on the channel. I couldn't post for 7 days. I posted a video earlier, and I explained kind of the situation. So we'll talk a little bit more towards the end about that. Now, I want to share, before we get to the presser, I have 2 copies of it. Let me just talk about 2 things. 2 things here. One, apparently there was this situation. I don't know the details of this. If you're watching Legacy, maybe you can DM me. Apparently somebody on a search or somebody found this jacket that they believe maybe belonged to Codi. Let me show you. This is what the image looks like. This is the boy bomber jacket size 14 near the water found today at the apartment complex where Codi lives. LE is at the scene investigating. So for whoever didn't see this, maybe people didn't, if you were like me, maybe you were gone or whatever. They found this jacket. Nerdy posted jacket in the background, siblings jacket. So people were wondering, maybe it looks kind of similar. And what Legacy posted and that the LE are saying is that they're not commenting. Dan said that Allison will be asking LE about it today. Oh. And has not confirmed whether or not the jacket found at the Hampton apartment complex is related. So the supporter Allison, which I think she's with 13 Now News, I think she's supposed to be finding out about that. We'll see. For anybody that was wondering about what's going on with the jacket situation. The other thing... Take a look at Rhoda in a second. Okay. Also, apparently there was animal remains. The bones found over the weekend by searchers in Hampton were determined to be animal remains. So for anybody that was talking about that or looking into that, there's people finding all kinds of things. Yes, that's the coat that found. And a lot of people were saying to check the waters. Yeah, that's true. There's no excuse for denying legal counsel other than violating his right. Yeah. I was thinking they probably maybe dismiss the charges, can't they? Because they're charging him for the, or is it too late once he said it? Like I don't know. Not too sure. But all right, let's take a look at this presser. This came out a couple of days ago on the 14th, 4 days ago. I wasn't able to cover this, so.
1, 2.
I like the audio on this one better than the other one.
Good afternoon. I'm Sergeant Williams with the Hampton Police Division's Public Information Office. I'm joined here today by Chief Talbot, Assistant Chief Gallup, Captain Coleman, Captain Price, Captain Scheck, and Captain Warren. On January 31st, 2022, at approximately 9:06 a.m., officers were called and responded to the 100 block of Ranalet Drive in reference to a missing juvenile, who we all know now as Codi Bigsby. Officers arrived on scene at 9:16 a.m., and 8 minutes later, multiple K-9 units arrived to assist. Within the hour, command staff and multiple detectives were already on scene. At 10:47 a.m., we formally requested the FBI to bring additional resources and technical support. At 11 a.m., the Hampton Police Division disseminated a press release and social media blast, which reached hundreds of thousands of people within our community. With the assistance of the local media, that reach extended well into the millions. By 11:30, the FBI arrived on scene, bringing additional agents as well as a plane to our aid. At 12:29, a reverse 911 call went out to residents and neighborhoods requesting information. By 1 p.m., officers had already searched the immediate surrounding areas of the apartment complex.
So they're giving a timeline here, right? Obviously, part of the reason I think they're doing this as well is because they were getting a lot of criticism. Some people, not everybody, some people were saying, you're not doing anything. They didn't do anything. They didn't take any action. And so I guess now they're just going down the list. Well, we did do something. This is what we've been doing. I think this is like that kind of response. Emma, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming through and supporting, just hanging out with me.
Officers and detectives began canvassing every house while K-9 searches continued and drones were searching from the air. Additionally, Mr. Bigsby, Cory's father, had arrived at police headquarters and began speaking with investigators. In the coming days, the search would evolve into a massive coordinated effort with our federal, regional, and local partners to include citizen volunteers. Searches continued by land, air, and sea. Dive teams were deployed, and drone teams scanned over 900 acres of remote marsh, waterways, and woodlands. As our search was taking place, investigative and forensic personnel worked around the clock to gather and process evidence to speak to anyone that might have knowledge about Cody's whereabouts. On the evening of Thursday, February 3rd, Cory Bigsby was arrested and transported to lockup, where he was served with 7 charges for felony child neglect. On Friday, February 4th, our search efforts began to transition into an investigative phase, and the massive grid search came to a slow conclusion. Since that day, our goal to find Cody has not changed. Our search has not stopped. Investigators are continuing to process immense amounts of evidence and follow up with every possible lead. With that, Chief Talbot will now provide additional comments.
I don't know if I said it, but thank you, Emma, for becoming a member. Appreciate the support. Devona, thank you for the super chat, the super sticker. BL, thank you so much. Awesome to have Mel back. Show him some love. Hit the like. Please hit the like button. I kind of need to talk to you too about something separate after DMs, business stuff, just question. So, but thank you, BL. Bridget, what's up, Bridget? Thanks for coming. Sally.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Mark Talbot. I'm the police chief for the Hampton Police Division. I'm going to begin this press conference like I started all of the press conferences with this case. I'm here on behalf of 4-year-old Codi Bigsby. It has been 14 heart-wrenching days since he was reported missing by his father, Cory Bigsby. Sergeant Williams did a great job laying out the timeline of events, and he did an excellent job laying out all the work that we've put into this investigation. I am extremely proud of the work that was done not only by the Hampton Police Division but by our partner agencies and by members of the public who have been out there every single day with us. For that, we are extremely grateful. You know, an investigation like this has a lot of moving parts. You've just heard that. One aspect of an investigation of this nature is that it is important that I keep in my mind all of the aspects of this investigation that ensure that it has the integrity that it needs to have. And that is primarily why I'm speaking to you today. This past Friday, in an effort to ensure that everything that we've done has been consistent with our best and our obligation, we reviewed video footage of some of the interviews involving Cory Bigsby. So Mr. Bigsby came to the Hampton Police Division, I'll remind you, on January 31st to assist with this investigation. He had his 3 small children with him. Around 2:30 that day, Mr. Bigsby sat for a formal interview with our detectives. The detective in that case began the conversation by reminding Mr. Bigsby that he was there voluntarily, he was not being detained by us, and that he had the right to an attorney if he chose to have an attorney with him. Mr. Bigsby decided to waive his rights at that time and to answer our questions. He continued to answer questions for several hours, and at some point it was suggested that we would like Mr. Bigsby to take a polygraph examination. Part of that polygraph examination that wasn't given by our agency, it was in fact given by a federal agency, involves again being reminded of his rights to an attorney, a right not to speak, a right not to incriminate himself. He received and he waived those rights, and he took the polygraph examination. Upon the conclusion of the polygraph examination, Mr. Bigsby resumed his interview with our detectives and our partner agencies. In the midst of this follow-up interview, there was a heated exchange between Mr. Bigsby and the lead detective in this case.
Maybe they should just release it. Just release the videos. Let's watch it. You think they would release it? I wonder what kind of, I don't know if they would release it or not. I guess they're going to use it for the case, obviously, the court.
The heated exchange came about when there was a discussion about the results of that polygraph exam. I won't discuss the result. I'll just say there was a heated back and forth. In the midst of this heated exchange, Mr. Bigsby made a statement that I believe was mishandled by the Hampton Police Division. He made a statement that indicated that he wanted to have legal counsel there with him. My assessment of his statement in that moment and a statement that he made several minutes later that was similar, expressing a desire for legal counsel, my assessment is that his desires should have been honored. They weren't. Ultimately, a decision like this that surrounds what we will do, what the court system will do in response to this episode is for the Commonwealth Attorney, is for Anton Bell. But we have our own obligation here. We didn't meet it, frankly. We have our own obligation to maintain the highest standards of conduct, to make sure that we're not skirting any lines that appear to be inappropriate or are questionable. We also have a standard that involves every member in this organization providing clear and concise and accurate information all the way up the chain of command so that we can make the best decisions as it relates to any investigation, in particular when it comes to seeking justice for a 4-year-old child. To give you a sense of the timing of what occurred, the problematic behavior that was brought to my attention was brought to me late in the afternoon this past Friday. As soon as we discovered this, we ordered the entire command staff into the police station to do a full audit of all of the video recordings of.
Yeah, maybe he shouldn't have said the result. I see somebody saying that to the cop shouldn't have said the result to kind of keep him talking. It seems like, I guess he pressed him and he got heated, and maybe that made him shut down. And supposedly he requested legal counsel twice. I wonder if that was before or after he mentioned leaving the kids alone or whatever. Maybe it was before. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Somebody said they think he passed the lie detector test. You guys think he passed or failed it? Sometimes too, it's just like deceptive. Does deceptive mean fail? Or does that just mean it's kind of hard to tell? I don't know. It's usually pretty clear, isn't it?
Our interactions with Mr. Bigsby. That occurred throughout the weekend. Most of us were here all weekend completing that. Our analysis, our audit of that video left us in a much better place in terms of understanding what happened. It also allows us to be reassured and allows me to reassure the public that the charges that were filed against Mr. Bigsby are appropriate. Mr. Bigsby is the only person that we've found evidence against to indicate we need to continue to pay attention to him in order to find out where Codi Bigsby might be and what may have happened to him. Nothing that occurred has shaken my confidence surrounding whether or not we paid attention to the right person or whether or not we've missed some key detail.
Yeah, no, they can't use polygraph tests in court. That's what I've always heard as well. I guess it's just like a tool, I guess. I don't know, that police can use, but it's not admissible in court. That's what I've always heard.
Have not. Our investigation is sound. Moving forward, we will continue to look at all the evidence. Many of you have reported some.
Wait a minute. Is there some tests that actually there's some not tests. There's some states I think that actually allowed in court. Is that this one 2021? Polygraph tests are inadmissible in criminal courts. Initially, decisions in industrial courts caution against relying on them. Maybe this was clickbait. The states that sometimes allow polygraph tests as evidence in a criminal case include Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Delaware, Georgia, Idaho, and Indiana. This is from Law Info. I don't know if this is true or not. They list a couple of more. Some courts allow lie detector evidence in certain proceedings or only when both parties agree to its admissibility. Other jurisdictions do not allow any lie detector evidence. So, according to this site, Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Delaware, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, North Dakota, Ohio, Utah, Washington, and Wyoming. So in some cases, it says in certain situations in those states, it's possible. And in other situations too, it says if when both parties agree to its admissibility. So there is some situations, even though so that doesn't apply for this situation, this state. But it's interesting.
Of the work that we did this weekend, we are searching different areas of the city. We are exploring the forensic evidence even further. We're continuing to take this investigation wherever the facts are going to take us. I deeply regret what I found out on Friday. Make no mistake about it. I am extremely disappointed with not only having to be the distraction that I spoke of previously, but I'm disappointed that we have done anything that may have slowed us down on our quest to bring justice to this child. That will be handled appropriately. Anybody who didn't live up to the standards that are important to us will be held accountable, and we will make sure that we continue to work as hard as we possibly can to bring more facts forward in this case and ultimately bring some degree of justice. With that, I will take your questions.
Has the lead detective been...
And they say that the Supreme Court commented that there's no reliable scientific evidence about the accuracy of lie detector tests. Still, the Supreme Court has not forbidden it outright. I never really hear of them using it, but apparently they're saying here there's some outliers where maybe it can happen. You know, I don't know.
Dismissed from the case.
We have a new leadership team and a new lead detective that we are going to have take over this case.
Is he on any type of leave? He or she?
The detective has been relieved of duty at this point.
So the detective relieved with pay, though. That's what I'm hearing from multiple. And just remind me too, we're gonna get back to this jacket thing because Legacy sent some information regarding it. So after this, we'll talk a little bit about that. Oh, okay. I'm gonna read this as well. Okay.
Does this in any way jeopardize or imperil either the existing charges or future charges against Mr. Bigsby?
The existing charges are sound, and they are based on evidence that was obtained in the first hours of our interactions with Mr. Bigsby. I've been in contact with the Commonwealth attorney extensively, including right before I walked into this room. I believe that he will say more about that. We feel confident that those charges are appropriate and will stand.
at an initial press conference, you went on record and said that he was there completely voluntarily. So at that point, had you not looked at any of the interrogation video?
That is correct. You know, just to be clear, reviewing nearly 100 hours of video was a Herculean task that required more than a dozen staff members who spent most of their weekend here. It was a big effort. It is just not viable to routinely view every second of videotape. It's not viable. But that's not an excuse for anything. My comments that I made previously were made based on, frankly, bad information, and that just can't happen.
It's a really big deal. Legacy sent some information to really interesting stuff that I'm going to read to you guys in a minute about, and this is like directly from the Hampton Police Division about their interview and interrogation rooms policy and procedure. She's good. So we're gonna take a look at that. This is where the policies and procedures were posted. Sourcing. I love it. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna check that out too.
And we will do everything that we need to do to make sure it doesn't happen again.
So since he was the lead detective, have you worked on any other high-profile missing cases like this, where he would have been put in similar situations and then it did act, appropriately?
Again, a full internal affairs investigation will be conducted. Just like we paid attention to the facts in assessing Cory Bigsby's relationship to what happened here, we need to look at the facts to see exactly how everybody's behavior has impacted this investigation. It is too soon to say whether or not the mistakes that were made were intentional, or if there is simply a different legal interpretation that is causing this dismay and my unhappiness, frankly. We have a lot of work to do to figure out exactly what occurred, and until we do that work, we're not going to be able to say whether or not this could impact other cases. But that is certainly something that I'm tracking, and we need to pay attention to.
Isn't it too, I don't know, maybe you guys in the chat can tell me. I thought too, let's say they're interrogating somebody. Shouldn't there be somebody, I get he's trying to say that it was hours or hundreds of hours of video, and so he didn't see it until after. So the person that was let go and is sitting there with Cory, there had to be multiple people, but don't they normally have somebody else on the outside, watching the video live as it goes, as some sort of oversight? Wouldn't have somebody seen that happen as well, or is it just one person? I can't imagine it's just one person and there's no oversight at the time of the interrogation happening.
Was he still at the police station willingly up until he was arrested?
So the question of whether or not he was here willingly ultimately seems like a simple question to answer yes or no. But the way that our criminal justice system works, sometimes it happens to be a question for the Commonwealth attorney to answer. And I would prefer to allow him to make that assessment.
In court documents, it said that he had confessed to police about leaving the children home alone. That's where those child neglect charges came from. Did he confess that before or after he asked for legal counsel?
Before.
That was a great question. I was literally just asking that. So, yeah, she's saying he said that about leaving the kids at home before asking for legal counsel. If they denied him legal counsel, shouldn't that dismiss the entire thing? Or is it only up until he asked? Anything else after is then not considered? I don't know. When you're violated, isn't just everything out? Or I guess not. I don't know how that stuff works.
Before.
Thanks, Dreadhead man. Hope you're doing good. My man, what's up, man? I'm back. Was canceled.
Was it that he had the polygraph, and when did that request happen for legal counsel?
The polygraph examination occurred somewhere after 10 p.m. on January 31st. He made the request that I've alluded to where he mentions an attorney on February 1st, somewhere after 4 o'clock in the morning.
We were told family got involved and kind of, asked for an attorney ahead of time. Can you speak to when that happened compared to when he actually asked for one himself?
I can't. I don't know precisely when the family got involved. I can tell you that Mr. Bigsby's, just to restate, Mr. Bigsby's request came around 4:13 in the morning on February 1st, and again at around 4:20.
Oh, so it wasn't too long after. I mean, on January 31st, and then they're saying on the 1st, is that what they said? January 31st, he's taken in for questioning, like voluntarily.
I can't. I don't know precisely when the family got involved. I can tell you that Mr. Bigsby's, just to restate, Mr. Bigsby's request came around 4:13 in the morning on February 1st, and again at around 4:20 on February 1st.
You mentioned that he was there with his 3 children. Do they play a role in this at all? I mean, if they were there with him, and I know you guys probably trying to ask them some questions, where do they stand with this then?
I'd rather not comment on our interactions with his children, other than I'd like to repeat what I said previously.
Yeah, what I'm hearing from Legacy and other people in the chat, whatever he said before asking for an attorney is admissible in court. And so whatever he said after wouldn't be.
That they're doing well right now. And I'd like to leave it at that.
As far as the search from now into the future, I've heard from different search parties, volunteers in the community that are helping. They want to know, are their efforts worth it? I mean, they want to search for him, but they don't even know if they're searching in the right areas. Should they keep going if they're volunteering, or what do you have to say to that?
Keep going. Keep going. This is all of our obligation. We're all here for Codi Bigsby. I don't know if those efforts will be fruitful, but what do? Do you sit and do nothing? I don't think so. I think that we all have to consider what we might be able to do that's helpful. I believe that the number of people that have decided on their own to traipse about in the woods and dig through marshes and all these other things, God bless them. Keep going.
Can you speak to a jacket that was found, a toddler-sized jacket on Saturday? Do you all know if that is tied to Codi's case or if it was just a random jacket?
We do not know. We are investigating.
And let me speak a little bit about the jacket while we're here. Thank you, Ann, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Ann says you're fabulous. Thank you. There was another. Oh, no, I got the other one. The jacket thing. So Legacy said the jacket was found behind the apartment complex by a searcher. The area was underwater, okay? And LE wasn't able to search when Codi went missing. LE, forensic team, and K9 went to the scene to investigate. They haven't confirmed if the jacket is related, and that's what's kind of happening now. And she posted earlier that the reporter is supposed to be asking about that, I guess, today. So we'll see what comes up with that. Well, yeah, because this was a couple days ago, this presser. So we'll see if we get anything else with that. Also, Legacy messaged Jennifer Coffindaffer, which is a retired FBI. And Jennifer, what she had to say about this, let me just put this here for a second. Just to sidetrack while we're on this. A jacket was found muddied and crumpled near Codi Bigsby's home. Legacy and I compared to jackets worn by Codi/siblings, but no matches. The jacket has a pattern. There's no confirmation this is conclusively Codi's. We shall wait for Ellie to advise. So far it's not really, I guess, looking like a match, but we need, have to wait for confirmation. So that's pretty interesting. Thank you for saying that. Also, And then I'm going to get to the procedure thing in a second.
Do you have any more information about the last time Codi was confirmed to be seen? Has that been confirmed on you?
4T. Did I say 14? Size 4T, I think.
I don't have information that I believe I can rely upon to answer that question.
Is your team currently investigating any remains being found in the city right now?
Yes.
Do you have any reason to believe they could be Cody's?
I do not have any reason to believe they could be Cody's, no.
Found in the city. Is your team currently investigating any remains being found in the city right now?
Yes.
Do you have any reason to believe they could be Cody's?
I do not have any reason to believe they could be Cody's, no.
What is your understanding of why Cory Bigsby was denied legal counsel initially?
That has to be investigated. I do not know. I do not have a good answer to that question. I don't have an answer that I'm confident in. At some point, I'll need to be confident, and I'll need to understand that much better than I do now.
Do you feel like this could build a distrust between the department, the case, and the community?
Yes, it could, and I'm here to avoid that and to talk openly about what happened and to transparently lay out what occurred. This is something that we uncovered. This was not something that was exposed. We did our own audit, we looked at our own conduct, and we've decided we didn't meet the standard that we need to adhere.
I wonder about that too, Jazz. Jasmine asks, were those the animal remains they found or different? Yeah, I don't know. That's because they referenced there was animal remains, but I don't know that that he was talking here, was it that, or was it something else they found out there?
Here too. It is sad but true.
4T is for toddler, what we're talking about. It might have sounded like 14, but it's 4T, for toddler.
There is no insurance policy against the human condition. There are several hundred people in this organization. Many of them have been involved in one aspect or another in the investigation. And when you have an investigation of this magnitude, sooner or later you're going to run into something that isn't what you wanted it to be. That's what we have now. That's not to say that you're always going to find what you would deem to be misconduct, but my experience has been that this is a very difficult business, and these types of things are possible.
So when you think about an interrogation between the lead detective and Bigsby, were there others watching that interrogation, maybe through video or a window of some sort that saw it?
Great question. That's what I was just saying. Like, is there nobody else that was watching this happen when he was denied counsel?
And so does that mean, and if so, are other officers also being investigated and maybe placed on leave or maybe dismissed as well?
There are a number of people in my organization that need to be called to account for the answers to those questions. We do have policies and systems in place that should have allowed us to do better than we did. We also, frankly, had a case here in which an experienced detective is doing his job, has done great work throughout his career, and to some degree you want to be able to rely upon that. All that broke down somehow, and we need to spend some time figuring out how it broke down, why it broke down, and putting things in place so that it doesn't happen again.
How long has that lead detective been with the department?
11 years, approximately.
And to clarify, he's no longer a member?
No, I did not say that.
Okay.
So he's off the case, but he's still with the department. Can you confirm what's explain that, please?
I'd like to leave it at that.
So you can't say if he's placed on like a paid leave, non-paid leave?
I can say that he is on paid leave.
Is there anything specific that prompted the review of evidence, or was it just ensuring that he didn't mess up
a lot of, we are not oblivious to the narrative that has been driven around about our conduct in this case. We pay attention. You don't have to walk up to the Hampton Police Division with a formal complaint for us to pay attention to you. We heard members of the public who expressed concerns. That was one of the factors that resulted in us deciding to look deeply into what we did. When we looked, we didn't like what we found, and that's why we're here.
Okay, can you just, again, just reiterate the next steps? I know you mentioned like an overall kind of investigation. Who's going to lead that? Is that going to come from outside the department, within the department?
We are fully capable of continuing forward with this investigation. What we are doing moving forward is putting together a fresh set of eyes and ears and looking again at every step that we've taken moving forward.
So areas that will be searched from now on, will that be based on evidence that indicates that Codi may be in that area?
Yes. Now, you know, we could certainly.
Somebody said pay leave, so vacation. Yeah, basically, right? I guess.
Come across evidence or some facts, or one of the members of the public who's out and about could, like just occurred over this weekend, could say something or do something that causes us to go back to where we've already been, or to search new ground. That's all still in play.
Other than the jacket, can you comment on if anything else was found over the weekend near that?
No, I don't have additional information about that.
I know you mentioned Anton Bell speaking to some of the court things, but just on a general perspective, is there any chance that these neglect charges could be dropped and he could be free to go out of prison because of the mistakes that your lead detective made?
There's no reasonable belief that I have that would be the case. In fact, we've looked. You know, let's make no mistake about it. The most important thing here, as it relates to that question, is Mr. Bigsby in jail appropriately, based on facts and evidence that we've obtained lawfully? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no question about that I have at this point. As a matter of fact, based on the thorough audit that we've done, I'm more certain than I was when I spoke about it previously. He's in a jail cell for appropriate reasons, and we learned that through an appropriate investigation.
At this point, is he aware of what's taken place, and his defense attorney as well, Bigsby?
We've taken steps to make sure that his attorney is aware of what I'm explaining to you. Thank you.
Well, Kenzie made an interesting point here. Let me read Kenzie's comment on YouTube. They have to pay him leave because if the person who conducts a formal investigation on, I just lost it, on this officially decides he did not do anything wrong, he could maybe sue, but I don't know. It's plausible. Maybe that there's a reason for that. I don't know. Because it has to be investigated. Also, I was thinking too, I guess why now this guy, or now they're saying this, you know, yeah, you could look at it as transparency, or you could look at it as, well, a lawyer got involved and they were making a fuss. And so we better go and look at all this stuff and come out with it, because a lawyer's going to go and look at it anyway, and this is not going to look good. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe, you know, would we have ever even found out? I mean, I guess they would show the whole tape in court, or would they show part of the tape in court and not the whole thing? You know, what would they cut out or chop out that part? I mean, I don't know. So I want to read to you guys this policy and procedure thing. I also have, oh yeah, like 2 or 3 other things I want to show you, I think, too, as well, that are interesting. But let's do this first. And Legacy sent this. Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes you got to look at things and it's kind of like, yeah. And I'm not somebody that hates cops or anything like that. But to try to look at it objectively, is this really like transparency, or is this just that these people were making a fuss and hey, it was going to come out anyway, so we got to get ahead of this or try to get ahead of it, right? So policy and procedure, page 1 of 2. This was effective 1/24/2006. Interview/interrogation rooms. And Legacy sent me this, and the article is from wavy.com. They posted the procedures there. So the purpose of this policy is they establish guidelines for the utilization of rooms designated as interview/interrogation rooms, hereinafter referred to as interview rooms, within the investigations section of the police division. Policy: it shall be the policy of the Hampton Police Division to utilize the 4 small rooms in investigative services identified as interview rooms for the purpose of non-custodial interviews of victims, witnesses, and suspects of crimes, and custodial interviews of arrestees. So the third part here, procedure: custodial interrogations. All prisoners will be thoroughly searched for weapons, contraband, and evidence prior to being placed in the interview room. Each prisoner will be placed in a separate interview room apart from other prisoners. Prisoners will be handcuffed prior to being placed in the interview room. Handcuffs will be removed at the discretion of the officer having physical custody of the prisoner and or investigator working the case. If there is any doubt as to the officer's safety, the handcuffs will remain in place. At no time will prisoners be secured to any object in the interview room. See PNP 533 for further guidelines. Interview rooms are not holding cells. Okay. If a prisoner is left alone in an interview room, visual contact will be maintained through the peephole or an open door by utilizing the video system. I figured they had to have something there in the room. It is the interviewing officer's responsibility to be sure visual contact is maintained. Arresting and or interviewing officers will ensure that the human needs of the persons placed in the rooms are met. Restrooms, water, or comfort breaks. Let me take a look at this other page. Oh, I screwed up there. This one. Did I screw up or not? Okay. These are separate sheets. Let's see. So this is 1 of 3. See, these are just snippets from the guidelines, and this is recording custodial interviews and interrogations. The purpose of this policy is to establish guidelines for electronically recording custodial interviews and interrogations, reduce or eliminate the loss of criminal evidence through suppression hearings, to ensure the suspect's rights due to process under the Constitution, to safeguard officers conducting the interviews for allegations of coercion, misconduct, and statement of distortion. Let me pull up the article real quick as well, too. Okay. Actually, it's a whole bunch of reading. We're not going to do all this because one document is 8 pages. I'm not going to do that to myself for you guys. But yeah, the link to the website has 8 pages for the first document: constitutional requirements and police authority. I think what's better to do with that is let me take a look at the other ones. Yeah. Read through it another time, and then whatever stands out, we can post it separately. Okay. Okay, let me just pull this out. Whatever I see kind of stands out that I think is interesting. Just this portion here. This is with regards to recording interviews and interrogations. The investigating officer will use electronic equipment to record interviews/interrogations where the subject is suspected of direct or indirect involvement in these crimes and is in custody. The recording should contain the following: the date and time, the name of the officer/investigator, and the suspect being interviewed. The interview should be recorded from reading the Miranda warning to the conclusion of the interview. Only one interviewed recording per digital video/audio tape. Time and date the interview was terminated and reasons for the termination. On the occasion when a suspect is reluctant to cooperate because of the recording equipment, only then should the investigating officer stop the recording device. This is basic policy and procedure. I was just kind of curious if there was any guidelines as far as how many people should be there or be involved. Let me see. Take a look at this other document real quick. Okay. Yeah, so we'll leave that for... It's a lot of pages, so I'm not going to do that right now in the live. But it's a good source of information to have. I'm sure they'll probably be pulling this up in court. The other thing that I wanted to do is show you guys briefly a little bit of Rhoda's video. And she pulled up to the house, to the new house that Cory bought. So I just want to play a couple minutes of this. You can see in person. You can follow her on Facebook.
Then what's really going on?
Right. That's what
What father be like?
That's the whole thing. Like, why would he plan a better life for him and his kids and then take the life of his child? But that's why I go back to the point of saying maybe he hit him by mistake and then he felt to hit his head and he accidentally did something to him. You know,
Has that been said?
I said that. That's my opinion. You know, because I don't see him raising 4 kids then killing one. You know, so maybe he did discipline him a little too hard. You know, he get angry. And he could have hit him in his back, could have hit his head, and he could have died. And he panicked. And instead of calling the police, he allegedly. Nice house. Nice house.
This is what I wanted to show you guys. Basically, the house, the close up of it. We've seen this before on Google Maps.
Yes, and it's
very, very nice.
It's a very nice house he bought.
And it's like, it looks new. They don't have any cable yet, I see, but...
I'm going to put her link in the description as well if you want to check it out.
It's all new.
So many experts, right?
Very nice house. This is the inside of the house, guys. So it is a nice unit.
It's super nice. We got a good deal.
Well, NRHA, you know, you came through an NRHA program, so they help. Yeah, so they help purchase the home.
So that means he went through the process of the home buying process.
Yes, the home buyer process. So.
Because that takes a lot to do. You got kids.
So this is the house he bought for
We've seen this all already, but now this is like actual. It's kind of cool to see this.
him and his kids.
And I think this is the patio that the lady was referring to, like this thing here.
And
that called in the stream one time.
so it's kind of odd that he would kill his son, but yet buy a house for him and his family. This is the home, so everyone is out here. It's nothing in this house. It's nothing in the yard. And he got the best house on the block. He got the best house on the block, so new fence. There's been a lot of lies of people saying that he's been found. Please.
That's the thing too. I don't know what's going on, man. That's what I always take a lot of things with a grain of salt until I can verify it. I've been seeing all these. Oh, he's found. He's found. I mean, since we first started, like one of the first live streams, there was somebody with a page. I forgot the name. Somebody with a live. Oh, he's found. He's you know. One was saying that he was found dead. Another one. There was another one recently that they believe he's alive. That they found or something like that.
That
So,
girl posted that.
Anybody that wants to come out and search, Black Lives Matter, 757 Jafari has started a group. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. But, yes, and anyway, so with that being said, guys, so we don't see anything over here.
So I just want to show you guys that clip. I wanted to show you guys, I don't even know what this is, but I thought it was interesting. I saw this where it says 13 News caught on a hot mic discrediting BLM 757's efforts. I'm kind of curious just to listen in a little bit what this is.
I took it all the way back to the beginning.
Can't hear nothing.
Mic check 1 2 testing check 1 2 mic check 1 2 testing check 1.
Excuse me. So is this you on this hot mic saying that you discrediting our work, saying that we're making it about us just because you did a report on the Codi alert? This is not you yesterday on the hot mic? You can hear it. See, I did the report on the Codi alert like they wanted to. They're making it about them. That's what that's the report that's going around?
I didn't even hear it. You guys hear it?
I did the report on the Codi alert like they wanted. See, I did the report on the Codi alert like they wanted to. They're making it about them. That's the report that's going around? So you don't know if that was you saying that yesterday? Oh, okay. So y'all see that we've been out here putting in efforts to find, and even the local news media is discrediting our work, and we've been out here doing this on our own. And hold this. So
canceled.
We've been out here this whole time, and so a lot of people have been asking why they haven't seen me in any news interviews. They've been interviewing the different volunteers, which isn't a problem, but they specifically refuse to mention BLM 757. They exclusively refuse to mention where people can find our search efforts. They continuously go around and beat around the bush. So when I say y'all shares really do matter, they really do. Like, this is literally about the safety and the concern of finding this young man. Everything we put together has been on our own. So, you know, this is literally yesterday, and it was her, because she was the only person to even do a report on that. So that's WTKR. I mean, that's not WTKR, that's Channel 13, News 13 now. And they've been out here this whole time, and we've been trying to let them know that we've been trying to put together efforts to search for Cory and have different people volunteer. And we've been trying to let them know that we've been getting ignored by law enforcement this entire time. We've been showing them text messages, but the press conference we weren't allowed in yesterday, they were up there talking shit about us. So this is why, you know, you don't.
So I wonder what they were saying. Like, what is it when he says they were talking isht? Simply Stranger, thank you so much for the super chat. Welcome. Where they're like, these people again. Like, what exactly were they saying, you know?
See as much attention on us. You got law enforcement and the news media making it about them and withholding information from the public. So call WTKR, I keep saying that. Call Channel 13 and ask them why they're refusing to fully cover this case, why they aren't telling everybody about our search efforts, because we could use more volunteers. Every day we're out here, we could use more volunteers. You don't have to bring nothing, you know? You could just come, and even if you just get some flyers, like, we're coming out of pocket for that, yo. Like, it's just wild, man.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely not interested in drama. I think the Codi alert is a great idea. For sure, I'm down with that. I was thinking something and it slipped my mind. Oh, there was another thing I wanted to show you on the page. Just just I guess there's like a lot, there's drama, I guess, going on, or people upset and stuff like that. I mean, we saw the outburst that happened at the commission hearing, I think it was. Oh, and I'm going to show another clip too from Legacy. This was posted yesterday. Okay, I wanted to show you two things. This was posted 4 hours ago. And so this says #Black Friday. Today we'll be revealing some uncomfortable truths in regard to Codi Bigsby missing 4-year-old case. We have been on the ground since the first initial days of search 17 days ago. It was 2 weeks ago that law enforcement stopped searching for Codi. Misleading information and biased information has been put out by law enforcement and news outlets. No Amber Alert has been issued. There are chiefs in the same state that have never heard about Codi. We'll be going live from Facebook, from our Facebook page. What time? When? Somebody said, what is misleading and biased information? The other thing too, the police refused Codi's father. Yeah, we know about that. Okay, so that's what's going on with that. I want to play this clip from Legacy. Yeah, let's do this. It's interesting. But when people say things and they give a certain timeline, and then supposedly information comes out that timeline's not accurate, it's pretty interesting. Especially when it comes to when a child was last seen. The clip that she sent me. Okay, this one.
I did. Anybody know when the last time they seen the baby Codi?
I did personally, I didn't see him.
Mm-hmm.
Have I talked to him? Yes, I have.
Mm-hmm. When was the last time you spoke to Codi?
It's been about a week since I spoke to them.
Oh, she said she spoke to him a week. I thought she said she saw him.
But I do know that my ex-husband spoke to them Sunday, and he spoke to every last one of them.
So Codi was alive Sunday,
Yes.
this past Sunday?
Yes.
And your husband spoke to Codi himself?
My ex-husband.
Your ex-husband?
Yes.
Wow.
So, did she really talk to him? I don't know.
Say at this point, we've retained. There's nothing I can really say at this point. We've retained counsel, and if you want, you can direct your questions to him.
But do you believe that your brother is innocent? What can we say to have you defend him?
Yeah, the father's in jail. They locked him up on his admission to leaving the kids at home by themselves at certain points. I think he was charged with 7 counts of child neglect or something like that. But he's locked up.
There's nothing I can say about that at this time. I think Codi is alive and well. We just need to find him.
When is the last time you saw Codi?
That is irrelevant, and I just told you.
And it's interesting too because, and I think this is what Legacy was pointing out, is that, she told Rhoda about the Sunday prior, the ex-husband, and then the week prior she had spoken to Codi. And then in the news, she's like, well, that's irrelevant. It's kind of, or it's not relevant.
We just need to find him.
When is the last time you saw Codi?
That is irrelevant, and I just told you. I don't want to speak on that. If I knew where he is, I would have found him by now. So I don't know. Why would I not think he's alive? Why would anybody rule out the fact that he's alive?
I also asked her when is the last time she spoke or even saw Codi, and she refused to answer.
And that's a pretty big deal. That's a huge deal. Like, as far as like when the last time he spoke to him, right? So, yeah, this is Legacy's page. I put the link in the description. I got to put Rhoda's, if you want to go see that full video that she did, you can check her out. This is a great source of information. She also has a website. And, okay, something unrelated that I wanted to show you guys before we head out. I'll talk to you guys for a little bit and then we'll head out. And there's so many. Let me tell you something. There's a bunch of crazy stories that I've seen in the news, like insane. There's a bunch of like horrible weird stuff. I just wanted to come back and follow up with this since I ended off on this. And then I had the channel strike. For those that don't know, the channel got a strike. I think it was Friday. Specifically, the video that I was told after reaching out was that there was this video that I saw where we're watching somebody. There's this guy on the street. He like throws a rock at a bus, and then he throws a rock at a moving vehicle, like a big rock. And then the people from the bus, they get out, they start like punching and beating on the guy. That was a strike, as graphic and shocking, with the intent to like disgust viewers. There's all kinds of videos like that right now on YouTube, everywhere. And you can, and that video, to me, when I remember, it wasn't like that. I think that video should have been, the live stream should have been age restricted. I think that would have been the appropriate way to handle that, but that's what they saw as a strike, and they denied the appeal. And I emailed and spoke back and forth, and at least as there's some sort of transparency, I just feel it's inaccurate. So those types of fun streams, I can't do that on this channel anymore. Like it's just too risky. So either a backup channel, maybe a backup YouTube channel, or just another platform that's easy for people to access. I don't want to go streaming somewhere where you guys have to leave here, you click, and it's making you sign up. I feel like Twitch is like that. I don't know what it is about Twitch. I put a Twitch link, you got to sign up. I want you to download the app. No. I just want people to click and it opens. So, for that kind of thing, we'll, for the future, just have to adapt and switch. They should have put an age restriction. Yeah. But here's the thing too. YouTube's really big on context, right? And so the context of that video, I think that's kind of what did it, even though we used to do fun streams all the time. The context was I was popping a champagne bottle, right? Laughing, having fun, drinking. And so I think that the way that was perceived, it's not like how we're doing this serious. Most of it, this is a serious live stream. We're talking about, this is not even graphic, but we're talking about a serious story. And so when you're getting into the controversial stuff and you're talking about graphic things, and then I guess if they perceive it as, oh, you're laughing, you're having fun, I guess they perceive that as your intention is to shock and disgust viewers. And it's just like, I don't know, it's not in a journalistic or news-worthy type of thing. That's how I perceive. That's why they did that. Comments YouTube. So yeah, Twitch is such a pain in the butt. I know, I get it. I know people are there. I know it's big, but I want something that's going to be easy for people. It doesn't make sense that we're going to have to jump through all these hoops just to click whatever. Yeah, Twitch is like where gamers stream. Yeah, they stream. There's memberships there. It's on and popping. Twitch is crazy too, though. Their rules or whatever, it might be even worse than YouTube. I mean, I'm glad for YouTube, and I'm glad that, they were cool. They were transparent, but they also shut down my means of communication. So I couldn't even communicate to people that, hey, I can't post for whatever amount of days. Also, for speaking on backup channels, YouTube has a thing in terms and conditions called circumvention. You can't circumvent a strike, meaning, let's say I get striked on iCkEdMeL. Then I have a channel, iCkEdMeL backup. During those 7 days when my channel strike, I start posting and talking on the backup channel. They consider that circumventing your strike, which can lead to termination. So, I mean, I'm sure there's people that do it all the time. I'm not going to take a chance like that because obviously the rules aren't clearly applied everywhere. But you can get terminated for that, for doing that type of stuff. Now, it's still good to have a backup channel because let's say I do those types of stuff on the backup channel and the backup channel gets a strike. Okay, then for 7 days, I just don't post, but at least I don't have a strike in my main channel. Yeah. The other thing, so I want to show you guys this too. This was a crazy story and this was trending, super brief. And just to be aware, it's so hard to know what's going on with your kids when they're in school. I mean, you can call. At my daughter's school right now, you can't like walk in. Like you can walk into the counter to the desk, but because of like the virus thing, they don't let you walk in all the way. Before, a lot of times they say it's good to just pop up one day. Don't tell the teachers, don't just pop up, see what's going on in the school. Randomly, just pop up on the teachers. Random times of the day if you can. Anyway, this story, this was pretty wild. This was here in Florida Plantation. This is 4 on trending. on YouTube. Number 4.
Story today involving a daycare. A family claims a
Thank you,
2-year-old
Danny.
girl was left at the center after it closed.
iCkEdMeL 2.0.
Local 10 News reporter Roy Ramos is live in Plantation with reaction. Roy.
Janice and Christy, so imagine this. You arrive to your child's daycare to pick them up, but when you get there, the doors are locked, the lights are off, and your 2-year-old daughter is still inside. That's exactly what happened with one mother right here at the Kinder Care Child Care Center in Plantation.
And I don't know, was she went after the place was closed? Like, did she get there late or something?
Says
Still,
she now wants
still not excusable, but
to know how this all happened, and she wants someone held accountable.
I'm coming, okay?
You can hear the worry in the
so she comes to the daycare. I guess the place is closed down and her kid's behind a door in a room. The lights are off. How crazy is that?
voice of Stephanie Martinez while she's on the phone with a 911 operator moments after she comes to find her 2-year-old daughter Anastasia inside the Kinder Care Daycare Center in Plantation. The lights off, no staff members inside, the doors locked, and her daughter looking right at her, waiting for her mother to get her out.
She's inside the daycare. She just came up to the door.
She's inside by herself?
Yeah, she's crying. She's inside by herself.
My first thought is something bad happened.
Anastasia's aunt, Samantha Scarmelino, said she received a call from the child's mother just after 6 Tuesday, hopeful she'd been picked up.
And she's like, well, I'm at the school and nobody's here. And I'm like, well, I don't have her. Like, call the police.
Plantation police and fire arriving shortly after and forcing the doors open to let Anastasia out.
Okay, thank you.
Fortunately, she was okay, but it's her relatives now wondering how this all happened. Do you know what led up to that circumstance? While staff members referred me to their corporate number, Samantha said this.
Yeah, you can call corporate. Kinder Care.
This was the daycare's.
Talk about bad for business, right? This video now is almost at 1 million views. 851,000.
Response to her.
It's something that's most likely fallen because of short staffing.
Short staffing. Due to the virus, probably, right? Pretty crazy. Was there something? Silvio sent me that story yesterday. I thought that was pretty interesting. Oh, this other crazy story. I'm not even going to pull up the thing, but I posted it on Discord yesterday. I'll briefly talk about this. You guys in the comments, tell me if you even heard about this. Sick, twisted people. Some teacher out there supposedly put her husband's bodily fluid in cupcakes for the kids at school. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. Crazy. Oh, I don't think we're gonna do calls, by the way, either. I think we're good. We don't need to do calls. Danny says, what do you think about people putting Cody's mom's name out there after she asks for her privacy? I have a really good clip that I posted on Facebook. And it's kind of short. It's a clip from the live stream where this person that used to be in the military with Cory, the father, and she had some comments to say about the mother. And that she was saying that, like, the mother, probably being that she's in DC, she probably can't have her picture and all this stuff posted out there because of maybe what she does. Mother's in the military. And so she said that's probably why. I haven't put out the mother's name. I haven't put out the picture or anything because I don't know. I just haven't seen the media do it. And I just think that maybe it's for a reason. Also, I've seen some people get the wrong person and post that and share it on Facebook. And it was like the wrong person. So I was like, I'm good on that. And yeah, just, you know, unless it really officially fully comes out or something, I don't see the need to do it. But it's on, if you have never seen it, that clip, yeah, check it out on Facebook. I posted it yesterday. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start posting shorter clips of the live streams to Facebook. I'm going to see how the live streams work. But if the live streams don't work out on Facebook, I'm just going to focus live streams on YouTube and take clips and just post it on Facebook because shorter clips work better on Facebook. So, but yeah, this call right here. You guys seen this? Pizzagate. Cody's mom is basically, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of back and forth about the mother and stuff. But yeah, so far, I just haven't seen the need to like put it out. I think people have found it though. So. Pizza. Yeah, it was an interesting call. Somebody actually reached out to me today about it, but I guess that's it, man. Thank you guys so much for joining. Like I said, the green screen's coming next week. There's a lot of different moving parts. I want to get back to covering other stories as well, mixing things up. I've had a lot of weird things happen, but everything somehow has worked out miraculously in a good thing. Like I've mentioned before, things that you sometimes interpret as being bad in the moment in time turn out to be a blessing. I've had a lot of that happening recently. And I also think you got to be careful when you're celebrating your accomplishments and achievements, or however it is, because while most normal people will be happy for you, there's some weirdo people out there that won't be happy. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be careful with that too. People around you, friends or whatever that you think you're friends. But yeah, let me make sure I got everybody too for the live. Boom, 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 boom. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. I got everybody. I don't know when somebody sent me this super chat. When was this? Somebody said all your exes were crazy. Oh, this was from the deleted stream they took down. Yeah, no, you gotta be careful with that, man. Even the last video I posted where I'm like, hey, I'm back, guys, amazing, yay! 2 people unsubscribed from that. I'm like, damn, people are really upset about that. Like, how dare you be back and doing good? Now it says -1. Maybe they resubscribed or something. But I noticed too, it seems like they've been doing a purge or something, and they've been unsubscribing people or people that are not active or whatever. They've just been purging. So, but yeah, just be careful, man. You'd be surprised people that are pretending to be happy for you, praying for you for your downfall. You know. Yes, sir. Yes, Sharon. I said, sir. Sorry. Sharon, 3 strikes, you're out. Yep. Strikes? I've never, it's such a rare thing. I don't even remember if I ever had one. I got a warning once, which I think was complete BS. And I tried to appeal it. They never even replied to the appeal. You sent me a screenshot of what, TR? Oh, I got to check your emails too. Thank you for messaging me. Thank you for all the emails, the comments, the DMs. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, the strike thing. Yeah, I had a warning once, which is BS. And I don't know if I've ever had a strike. I don't remember it. I definitely remember this time because I'm like, holy crap, I can't post nothing? I'm like, what is going on? What? So, I mean, my channel is not like a controversial channel, but those types of videos, like I said, where we're just playing all these random clips, and when fighting things come up or things like that, given the context, yeah, I just can't do that anymore. So, but yeah, we're back, man. Back and good. TR, let me check my email real quick, and then I'll head out. Let's see. Oh, you did send something. Codi Bigsby. Property information. Okay. It's like the address and... Oh, okay. His name is on there now. Oh, it updated. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're trying to show me? It's about time. Let's see. Okay, good. So his name is officially on there now? TR. Thanks. Yeah, you never know, man. You never know. But yeah, thank you guys so much for the transfer date. 1/12/2022 for $198,000. Damn, it's an amazing price. You can't get that shit over here for that nice house. Not here in Florida. But thank you guys so much. Love you. Have a great afternoon. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. Make sure you follow the alternative media, my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord. Check out Legacy on Twitter too. Great updates if you're looking for quick concise fact stuff, non-opinion stuff. Good source.